Hello, everybody. How are we doing? I hope we're doing good. Hello, chat. It is great to see you. I took a trip to Paris this weekend. I went to France with my mom, chat. So I participated in the Inoxtag event. And then on Saturday, I went to Blitz Society and I had my mom play against people at Blitz Society and I played against some people too. In one of the games on Saturday, chat, when I was playing in Blitz Society, which is this chess bar in Paris, I was like playing against a bunch of beginners and they weren't that good at chess, but you know, it was really nice and we were talking and whatever. And then at one point, like there's this guy that comes up with his friend and they're wearing like football shirts. And I'm like, wow, like you guys play football? And they're like, yeah, we're like big football fans. And they were like, you know, can we play? And I was like, sure. And then at one point, like he's playing a lot of theory and I get really confused. And then all of a sudden I'm like, are you good at chess? And then he goes, I am international master from Turkey. And I was like, what? Okay, you're a good player.
not, I'm international master in Turkey.
You're international master? I thought you were just a football fan showing up. Like, literally a random international master has just shown up, and I was so sure that he was like a random football fan, and I got completely terrified, and the way he said it was so funny. But okay, let me go ahead and show you a little bit of the event. Look at this! Look how professional it looks! Yeah, hello chat.
Julien, tu le sens comment? How you feel that, Julien?
Je suis pas serein là.
T'es pas serein? Tu stresses?
And then what was funny was that like we were supposed to be the show match. So before this, there had been a lot of beginners at chess. And so me and Julien were supposed to be the show match. And you know, Julien was an international master, but I think here they just saw us as the two chess masters. So everybody kind of went, Anna, you're gonna beat Julien. And I was like, okay, listen, like he's an IM. Like if I beat him, I'm doing the game of my life. But I was like, yeah, I'm gonna beat Julien. You know, I was like going with this hype. But I was like, actually, like if I beat him, it's completely crazy because he's an IM. And okay, we don't have to like watch the whole thing. I'm not gonna show you guys the whole thing. But it looked so professional. It was so cool. But let me guys, I'm gonna show you the game, okay? So you guys get to see it. All right, so the game started with d4. Julien's song, International Master, started with d4. I have actually played against Julien in the past. I played against him in Reykjavik Open back in 2022. It was the same time as I turned up as a panda in Reykjavik Open. Yeah, I brought a panda costume to a pro chess tournament. First round of that tournament, but I got destroyed by him back then. So I was like, I pray that I make a better game than what I did then, because then it was bad. Okay, so anyways, d4, d5, c4, e6, all of this was natural. And then he went for the Catalan. And you guys know that I used to play this move in the Catalan before. Bishop b4 check. This is what I played against Magnus Carlsen. When I played him the first time back in 2022. But I have changed my repertoire and now I took on c4. Well, the idea is now that if he goes bishop g2, I will go bishop b4 check and I'll play a5. So I quite like this and I've played this now for a little while. But here, instead of going bishop g2 and developing the bishop, he decided to go queen a4 check. And here, actually, the main move is to go knight bd7, so that if queen takes c4, I can go a6, and then b5, and then like bishop b7, and then this is really nice. But I forgot about this. So I went knight c6 instead because I forgot. But it's not a bad move. Anyways, here he went queen takes c4, which is also not the best move because I get to play this move queen d5. And my idea now is that if he takes on d5, then I'll take back with the pawn and nobody can tell me that I have a worse position than Julien because I'm controlling the center, my bishops are going to get out very nicely, and this is completely equal. So he didn't do that. He went knight bd2. But then, okay, here actually I could have gone knight b4, but I went bishop b4 instead, now threatening to take the queen as the knight is pinned. He then took, I took with the pawn, he went a3, I went bishop d6 because I didn't want to stay in this diagonal because the diagonal kind of sucked. He went bishop g2, I castled, and like so far, this is really good. I went h6, it's a kind of waiting move, it's completely equal right now. I went bishop f5, and now he played b4, and now, okay, chat, I am so proud of this next like This following next like moves, I am so proud of. Like, I need to like take a moment to show you this because I am really proud of the next set of moves. As you guys can see, I'm slightly better in this position, but it's because of one key idea here. One key idea. And so when he's going b4, his idea is very simply to go bishop b2 because he's saying, hey, I don't really see any future on this diagonal for this bishop, so I'm gonna place my bishop over here. I'm gonna place a rook on c1. I'm gonna go like b5. Those are all of his plans. So I instantly knew that for me to be able to gain an advantage here, I want to go a5. That is what I want to do. If I go a5, then I will have a great position because his pieces are very undeveloped. My rook is already on this file. If I'm able to trade off these pawns, I'll be able to put a lot of pressure on this pawn. But the issue here is that if I go a5, he has to move b5, and then everything is gonna get locked out if I move my knight. But then I spent a little bit of time thinking, and I found this really cool idea, which is that I can actually go bishop d3 first, threatening the rook, and after he goes rook d1, I can now go a5, and now b5 doesn't work because I take the pawn. And if he goes some random like knight here, well, I have bishop c2. Like, you can't really move the knight anywhere productive. Like, if he goes here, I'll just simply take and take. Like, you can't go anywhere productive. So I found this idea and I was really proud of it. And Julien actually told me after the game that he had completely missed this. And when he saw that I did this move bishop d3, he realized that I was much better in this position. So I felt very big brain, okay? I was like, man, like, I'm playing good chess right now. This is like some high level chess. I was really proud when I saw all of these ideas on the board. So here, this was going really well. So he ended up taking on a5, and guys, I'm so proud. I went bishop c2, which is the best move first to not allow him to have any intermediate moves with the knight. And then after he moved the rook, I took, rook takes a5, and now I am threatening. Well, I'm gonna place the other rook on a8, and I'm gonna put a lot of pressure on this a3 pawn. So far, like, this looks fantastic, right? So he went bishop e2, I simply put my other rook behind, and he went rook c1. I decided to go all the way to h7, bishop h7, because I didn't want him to be able to go knight h5. I was thinking if I should go bishop f5, but then I was like, okay, maybe he's gonna have some knight h4 intermediate moves at some point, and I didn't like that for some reason, which maybe this was stupid, but I didn't want him to be able to move stuff like e4. So I went all the way to h7. And he went knight e5, and this was a good move because this made me not really know exactly what to do. And here I spent this was the moment when I spent the most time thinking. I think I spent like 4 minutes, because the problem is that he's threatening to take on c6. He's threatening this. And so I was thinking, okay, what happens if I take on a3? And then I just realized that probably what would happen was this, like takes, and takes. And I couldn't really figure out how this position was. Like, I couldn't figure it out. It was stressing me. But I probably should have done this because I actually right now have like a really good chance of drawing the game. So, but I was kind of playing for the win, you know, which was maybe kind of stupid. I was playing for the win. But so I saw all of this and I wasn't like fully happy, and I was like, okay, can I like do something else? But I couldn't really come up with what the best idea was. And looking back at it, I should have seen knight e7, where I'm simply like defending everything, and you know, I'm still threatening this pawn. I don't really know why I didn't play it. I think I didn't realize that this was defender or something stupid. I don't know. But yeah, knight e7 was definitely the best move. But I ended up taking on e5, and then going knight g4, because I missed that after he goes h3 and I take, I missed actually just that this pawn is hanging now. And now I kind of realized that like this wasn't as good as I thought it was. But I went rook b5, which, chat, look, it's the best move. But yeah, I definitely should have seen knight e7 before. I think that was like the one move that I was kind of unhappy that I didn't see. I'm also having a coffee at 8 p.m. because I think that I will be able to fall asleep later, but I will not. But I don't care because coffee is great. But yeah, so I went rook b5 and he went a4 and I went rook b2, and now I just felt like, okay, my rook here is just so strong. So he went knight f3, I went knight d3, threatening now on f1. He went knight d4, I played bishop e4. Like, do you see, chat? I'm playing all the good moves. And here he went f3, I went bishop g6 now because I didn't want him to be able to have any like checkmate ideas. So he went bishop f1, and this I think is where like things started going a little bit wrong, because I should have seen the move rook e8, but I was so excited about winning this pawn that I just simply didn't see it. So I think I went rook a5 here, and I think this is my first mistake because I really wanted to play the move b5. Yeah, I really wanted to play the move b5, but yeah, things kind of started going wrong here. I think if I would have gone rook e8, this would have turned out so good because he doesn't have any way of defending this pawn. But yeah, I went rook a5, and now after he got bishop b5, like even if the engine says that it's equal, it's not as easy for me now because there's not really like any way for me to defend this knight in a good way. Like here I should go b6, but I just didn't like the idea. I have this. Oh, okay, I didn't realize. Okay, that's why I didn't play b6. I missed it at rook takes b5. Oh, okay, I missed it, I had that. Yeah, okay, so here, I didn't know how to defend my knight. And yeah, I should have done this, but anyways, I went knight e6, and now things started like turning a little bit wrong. Once again, I should have gone rook a8 to like not allow, because my rook sucks here, but I didn't see that. And now, you know, my pieces all started to kind of turn a bit crazy. He took here because there's bishop d3 check. I took here. But after this, you know, my pawns are all kind of hanging, and I unfortunately ended up losing a lot of pawns. And I just had like a few seconds on the clock here, but we were moving like back and forth, and bam, 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 bam. You know, well, yeah. Chat, things went a little bit wrong. I kept playing because I thought it would be cool for people to see how he wins this in a show match. But after this, I resigned. So yeah, like, but everything was going so great up until the move rook a5. So I was in general quite happy with the game. And if we do like a little game review, I'll show you. We ended up having, I'll show you over here. We ended up having 87.3 accuracy for me and then 92.7 for him. And then sudden a close game that was lost by a mistake. Yeah, he had like one brilliant. But yeah, anyways, it was pretty great. Hello, thank you so much for the prime. So that was my game against Julien. But I thought it was a pretty great game. And he told me after the game that I had improved so much since I played him in Reykjavik Open. And I was like, thank you. So I was really happy about that. Because I do feel like I have improved.